The morning after the funeral, my only son Marcus stood in my kitchen screaming, "Mama, read Daddy's will, you owe me half this house right now." I didn't argue. I just poured him a fresh cup of coffee, slid it across the table, and whispered, "Sit down, baby. Drink it while it's hot." 3 weeks later he came barreling through the front door yelling about his money. And found the locks changed, the sheriff on the porch, and me sipping sweet tea on the swing like nothing ever happened. If you've ever had family count your money before you're cold, hit that subscribe button right now. This is the quietest inheritance revenge ever written into a will, told by the widow who executed it. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, I'm Carolyn, Miss Carolyn to most folks, 68 years old, lifelong resident of Macon, Georgia. My husband Ray passed in March 2025 after a short fight with pancreatic cancer. 47 years we were married. Built this brick ranch house together in 1981, raised one son, Marcus, and buried 2 dogs in the backyard. Ray was a high school football coach and a secret genius with money. By the time he passed, he'd quietly paid off the house, maxed out 2 life insurance policies, and had a brokerage account worth $1.4 million. Nobody knew but me and our estate attorney, Mr. Charles. Marcus? Marcus hadn't called his daddy in 3 years unless he needed bail money or a cosign on a truck. He showed up to the hospice the last week wearing sunglasses indoors, asking Ray if he updated the will yet. The day Ray died, Marcus was on his phone in the hallway pricing lifted F-150s. The funeral was beautiful, packed church, old players crying in the pews. Marcus gave a eulogy that had folks dabbing their eye. Until I heard him afterward in the parking lot telling his girlfriend, "Finally. Mama can't stop me now." That night he cornered me in the kitchen. "Marcus, loud as you please. Mama, Daddy told me the house goes half to you, half to me. I already talked to a realtor. We'll list it next week and split the cash." I felt my chest get tight, the same way it did when Ray's heart monitor flatlined. But I just patted his hand and said, "We'll talk tomorrow, baby. Go home and rest." He left thinking he'd won. What he never knew. Ray and I rewrote the will in January, while Marcus was ghosting us again. Ray wrote in a single contingency nobody but Mr. Charles and I ever saw. To my son Marcus, you will inherit 50% of the residence at 214 Oak Haven Drive only if you have provided documented care and companionship to Carolyn in the final year of my life. Failure to meet this condition voids the residential bequest entirely. Marcus had visited exactly twice in 12 months, once to borrow $800, once to drop off a Christmas hem he didn't even carry inside. So legally? The house, the land, and every dime in the brokerage rolled straight to me alone. But I didn't tell Marcus that. I let him keep yelling about his half. For 3 weeks he called every day demanding I sign listing papers. I'd answer sweet as pie. "Okay, baby, bring the papers by Sunday after church." Every Sunday he'd show up hungover, papers in hand, hollering before he hit the door. Every Sunday I'd feed him pot roast, hug his neck, and say, "Let Mama pray on it one more day." While he was eating my food, I was on the phone with Mr. Charles and a locksmith. April 14, 2025, exactly 30 days after probate closed, he came storming up the driveway at 9 a.m. screaming through the screen door, "Mama, I ain't playing. Sign these papers or I'm calling a lawyer." I opened the door just enough to hand him a fresh cup of coffee in a to-go cup. He snatched it, still yelling. That's when the locksmith finished the last tumbler. Click. I stepped out onto the porch, closed the door behind me, and turned the deadbolt with my new key. Marcus blinked. "What you doin', Mama?" I pulled the certified copy of the will from my Bible and handed it to him, page 7 highlighted in pink. "Read paragraph 4 out loud, baby." He started reading, voice got smaller with every word. When he hit the part about documented care and companionship, his knees buckled. The sheriff's deputy I'd hired for the day walked up the steps calm as you please. "Deputy. Sir, this is now a civil eviction. You have 10 minutes to remove any personal belongings. Marcus started crying, big, sloppy tears. Mama, please. I'll move back in. I'll take care of you. I sat down on the porch swing, crossed my legs, and took a slow sip of my tea. Baby, the Will said final year of your daddy's life. You were too busy for that. I decided I'm too busy for you now. He left with one garbage bag of clothes and his dignity somewhere on the azaleas. Marcus lives in a one-bedroom off Riverside Drive. His truck got repossessed last month. He calls every Sunday now. Guess who lets it go to voicemail? Me? I sold Ray's old truck, painted the kitchen yellow like he always wanted, and started hosting the widow's Bible study on Wednesdays. The house is quieter, and all mine. Love keeps no record of wrong. But wills do. That's how Miss Carolyn brewed coffee with one hand and changed the locks with the other. If this gave you peace and petty in equal measure, smash like, subscribe, hit the bell. In the comments tell me the sneakiest line you ever saw buried in a will. I always read every last one.